double coverage.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage, wherever you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce, episode 56. And guess what, Sauce? Funnily enough, today is the 28th of July, 2021. In 2 days' time, it is actually our 1-year birthday, which is very exciting. So technically, next week is a 1-year birthday pod. So we're leading up to that.
1 year it has been. We started this journey, Doma, double coverage, podcast, sports, and trading card podcast. And what a journey it has been. It has been awesome fun. We've made a lot of connections in the hobby. We've interviewed some amazing people. We've had a few Le Mans interviews, we could say, but we won't name them who they are. But it's been awesome. It's been awesome. And I'm excited for the next year of this journey. And hopefully we can go bigger and better.
Well, that's the plan, Sauce. Bigger and better, 100%. But we'll get straight into it. I think the sport component, we might fly through it literally this week. We will start with footy. We'll get into F1, UFC, NBA, just a quick rundown of the draft coming up, and then straight into Le Mans of the week and hobby talk. So the sooner I get through the footy, the quicker we get to the hobby. So let's start round 19.
There's some juicy stuff to talk about in the hobby. Don't you worry about that.
There's some juicy stuff. Port Adelaide versus Collingwood. Port Adelaide got the win. We'll keep that game to last. Brisbane versus Gold Coast, 120-71. Brisbane got the win. West Coast defeated St Kilda 94-86. Melbourne lost to the Western Bulldogs 65-85. Adelaide defeated Hawthorn 102-83. Sydney defeated Fremantle 98-58. Geelong defeated Richmond 95-57. Essendon lost to the GWS Giants 66-53. And the Blue Baggers got touched up by my mob, North Melbourne, 116-77 in what was an absolute rout.
And I tipped them. I tipped North, and I was confident too, Doma. I was confident.
Big Suvalaki down there with his
Suvalaki, seven sausages. And I'll tell you what, Doma, I'm going to give him another shout out on this show. Blue Abroad podcast. Make sure you tag him in the show this week, because I want them to know that I am talking about. I want them to know that I am talking about them, because they are the best fan channel on YouTube for Australian football. And I hope there are more fans out there that do something for their football side out there, because I think there is a market for it. So look, fan cams after that game, ladies and gentlemen, jump on YouTube, go to Blue Abroad YouTube channel and watch the fan games post the North Melbourne and Carlton game. And it is some of the best entertainment you will get this week. Let me tell you, the Carlton fans do not hold back on their side, and rightfully so, because they know that they are shit. They are not hiding it on the Blue Abroad channel. They literally say we are shit.
It's so funny.
And I can't defute that point, because unfortunately 6 years they had a 6-year plan. They are 5 years into their 6-year plan, and they are no better than what they started in year one. Really, they suck. And it's really, really disheartening. I got a friend who's a Carlton supporter, and every year he ends up saying it's the same shit. We get told we're improving, we're coming up. The Baggers, we win 2 in a row. The Baggers are back, and here we are. Here they are losing to you guys, North, who, in my opinion, I actually think are further in their development along than Carlton. Yeah, you axed a hell of a lot of players in the off season. You got rid of the dead weight. Unlike Carlton, blooding 100 games into these duds that are still there, literally list cloggers that are, giving you nothing. You go out and spend the money on Sard. You spend the money on Zach Williams. You spend the money on who else they bought in. They brought in heaps of guys. They bought Plowman.
Lee Matthews came out and said that Cripps has regressed. And I completely agree with that. I actually said to mates of mine in a group, we've got a North Melbourne chat, and I love Cripps. I've spoken about Cripps on this show before, that I reckon he's a great player, but I think that he has regressed, whether it's injury or it's not yet. But the way we talk about Patrick Cripps in the Australian Football League, he's overrated. The way we are talking about him at the moment. Oh, he's the saviour of the club. He's this, he's that. He's shown me nothing this year. Nothing. All right? Don't talk about this big boy doing all these big things. It's just overrated talk, mate. You're making him better than what he actually is. That as simple as that. So a bit to be literally broken down for the Carlton Football Club. We'll leave that to Blue Abroad. That's their job. North Melbourne, massive loss source. Coming out probably about 15 minutes before we've jumped on here. North have lost Ben Cunnington for the rest of the year. He actually had to get rushed in for emergency surgery. They found a tumor on his testicle. So he's had to go in and get that removed. Wow. He's out indefinitely. So he'll be out for the rest of the season. So we wish him all the very best.
Wish him all the best. Hopefully he's well and has a speedy recovery, Doma.
Yeah, but all went well successfully in report, so that's great news as well. But we still wish him and his family all the very best, and everyone down at the North Melbourne Football Club. All right, Sauce, round 20. Let's get into it. This could possibly be your favorite game so far this year. The Bombers versus your second favorite team in the comp, with probably your favorite player in the comp.
And he got off. So he's going to kick 7 on us. He's going to kick 7 on us because Essendon is one of the teams. Buddy Franklin's gone, you beauty. I'm playing Essendon this week. I'm going to kick a bag. I fully expect him to kick a minimum of 4 goals, a minimum. Who are we going to play on him? James Stewart. He's shit. Laverty, he's going to tell him up too.
Come on, buddy.
We got no one to even
go. He could get to 1,000 goals. He could get to 1,000 goals this weekend. He only needs 17.
Oh, mate. You know what? He's kicked 13 in a game before. So against your boys,
he needs 17 Sauce, and there's 3 games left.
He can do it. Because he's going to kick 7 this week. He's going to kick 7 this week, Dom, and I'm confident.
What? And then he's going to kick 10 goals in 3 games to end the season.
Yeah, easy.
Finals counts. Finals counts.
They'll be there.
He's got 5 games. He's home.
As I'm talking like that, Sydney are going to touch us up a beauty this week. We bring the effort that we brought against GWS. We have no chance. We were lackluster. We honestly look like witches' hats the way that GWS was able to just chip the ball around, get uncontested marks. They just, played the game on their terms and beat us rightfully so. We did not deserve to win. And it's unexcusable, let's be honest. Freaking their best player was out, Toby Green. There's 3 goals pretty much, off the scoreboard and you couldn't get the job done. So, look, I'm tipping Sydney to get the chocolates.
Very nice. I'm going Sydney as well. North versus Geelong. I'm going Cats.
Down to Bloodstone, but I'm going to have to go with Geelong. But you do have a good record down there.
We'll play very well here. We'll be very good here. Very, very good. We're a chance. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but we're a chance. Gold Coast, Melbourne. D's, mate. They're stinking it up.
Yeah, look, I'm going to back them in the D's. Come on.
I'm tipping Gold Coast. Saints, Carlton. Saints. You know what we want. Sauce. We want the Saints to go marching in. As much as I don't rate the Saints, this is the week. I thought last week when we beat Carlton, it was going to be the week. This is the week. They lose this game, it's over. Few people in the comments, we'll get to them very shortly. I'll just get through the rest of these games with Saucy, and then we'll say a few hellos to a few people in the chat. Hawthorn, Brisbane.
Brizzy.
I'm going Brisbane as well. Dogs, Adelaide.
Dogs.
So am I. GWS, Port.
GWS. Toby Green,
I'm
I think, should be back.
I'm going
I think
Port.
he was just out the 1 week.
Collingwood versus West Coast.
West Coast. Look, both these teams are trash, but well, surely West Coast at some point. They've got more talent on the park than Collingwood.
I'm going West Coast as well. And then Freo, Richmond. Keep in mind that my favourite player, Nathaniel Fife, shoulder surgery, injured again. Most injury-prone, best player ever. Yeah, I think he's
Walters
out as well.
Yeah, Tigers. Look, Tigers have got a lot of injuries as well. I just think those two outs are massive. Like, that's the best two. Like, look, Dusty's out, but Richmond, I just think they will. They should have a bit more. I mean, they got beaten that first half against Geelong, and then they couldn't recover. They looked average, but I'll go with the Tigers.
Same with me. All right, Sauce. Ladder update quickly. Dogs on top. Cats are second, both on 56. Melbourne third on 54. Port fourth on 52. Lions and Swans on 48 points, fifth and sixth. West Coast seventh on 40. Eighth is GWS. Then Essendon, Richmond, Fremantle, St Kilda, all on 32 points, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So it's a big game for St Kilda against Carlton this week. Carlton 13th on 28 points, Suns and Crows on 24 points, 14th and 15th. Collingwood 16th on 20. Hawthorn and North round out the 8th, 17th and 18th on 18 points. Percentage is the only thing holding us back there. Anyway, that's the AFL wrap. Coming to the end of our tipping Sauce, so we're going to probably get ready to do a bit of a giveaway to the people that jumped in our tipping comp. Not that I remember to actually put my tips in. So
I'm that far off that I just stopped after a while. But the winner, we will organise something.
We'll find out who it is. We'll get something for the person that wins it. And also just a hello to Adam, who's in the chat. He said he listened to the Cage Pod today. So much mutual admiration and awesome chemistry. Good to see the hobby banter between you guys. Appreciate you. That was a very, very fun podcast that we did on the
very
weekend.
Fun podcast, and hopefully fun. A few more to come with Cage. He's a
definitely
champion.
He definitely is a champion. And Noah, just the let's go Sauce. We love Prism Retail. Let's go, baby.
Shout out Noah in the comments. He gave me the heads up today. He dropped me a message, said a certain place has some stock. Get here ASAP. I literally dropped what I was doing. I was sitting in front of my computer, jumped up out of the back of this chair, was literally boom, chair fell over, just left it on the floor, jumped over it, ran downstairs, chucked my shoes on, and ran out the door. And I was down there in 15 minutes. Happened to get one box, and it was one per person. But you'll see here, I have two. Now, how I did that, I'm not going to tell you, but I got two. And I'm happy about it because that means I'm going to rip one and hold one.
So there's some content coming onto our channel.
That's exactly right. Look out in the near future. There will be a Prism rip on the channel. And hopefully there is a LaMelo redemption in there, or an Anthony Edwards auto, or a Patrick Williams auto, or a Kenya Martin auto. One of those four. I'll be stoked.
Beautiful. All right, let's move on. F1, just an update. It is the Hungarian Grand Prix this week. You can tune in to Off the Grid. It is back. Clearly, we do it on race day during the race. So feel free to jump into that podcast anytime on Sunday here, Saturday over in the States, or Sunday night here, Monday morning here. So tune in, have a laugh with myself, Lukey, Azuro. I think Anth might be on this week as well. Saucy, if he's available, he'll definitely be on, and we'll be talking all things F1, cards, sport, you name it. We'll be loving it. And the great man's back, Verstappen. He's back with a vengeance too. So I'll be very excited for this race. All right, Sauce, UFC.
Let's hear it. Let's bring it up. UFC card. So we had UFC Fight Night, Sandhagen versus Dillashaw. And look, Dom, I'm going to say I'm not really sure how. If anyone doesn't know, TJ Dillashaw won that fight. I'm sort of sure how he won the fight, but we'll talk about it when I get to it. So we'll run through the results. You had Adrian Yanez in the bantamweight division defeating Randy Costa with a KO in the second round. In women flyweight, you had Macy Barber defeating Miranda Maverick in a third round decision. Featherweight, you had Darren Elkins defeating Derek Mina in with a KO in the second round. The bantamweight division, you had Ralin Paiva defeating Kyla Phillips with a decision in over 3 rounds. And the main event, bantamweight, you had TJ Dillashaw defeating Corey Sandhagen in 5 rounds. Went to the judges' scorecards, and TJ Dillashaw was victorious. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you tuned in and watched the fight. I watched the fight. It was actually we were actually doing the podcast with Cage at the time, and I actually had it on another screen. I was watching it. Look, I can understand where the referees, where the judges, tipped it towards Dillashaw, because he was able to secure some takedowns, get a bit of cage control in the clinch, and he had a bit of control of that. But if you're talking about like shots landed and just like getting beat up, Corey Sandhagen didn't even look like he was in a fight at the end of the fight. TJ Dillashaw looked like he'd been going for 10 rounds, not 5, 10, right? That's how beat up his face was. I don't understand how strikes don't count for more in the UFC. Because at the end of the day, the fans and just the public that watch UFC, they prefer to see strikes. They don't want to.
Strikes a majority of what get the KO source. So if you significant
right.
strike like a massive cross or overhand, and it rocks a guy, that should be like bloody triple points. If you're rocking a guy with your punch or connecting flush, like surely you get extra points for that.
Yeah, look, it was just a matter of quantity, and Sandhagen just busted him up. Look, Sandhagen did come out on Twitter, and he admittedly said, it's his own fault for not doing more to push it on the judges. It was, Sandhagen was fighting a lot on the back foot, but he was doing it well. Like, Dillashaw tried to get the octagon dominance, sort of demand the center, and always pushing forward and putting Sandhagen up against the fence, and Sandhagen was sort of skirting around, and it was this sort of, that's how the fight played out. But look, whatever it is, he did say that he should have done more to put no doubt in the judges' minds that he was the winner. Unfortunately, that's just the way that the fighting game goes. Sometimes you can't always get the win, and that's why sometimes you got to show that you're more active. So look, unfortunately, Sandhagen did not get the chocolates. Dillashaw victorious, but we move on to this week where we have another fight night on this weekend. On Sunday, kicks off at 8 a.m. The main card, the prelims, I believe, kick off from 6 a.m. So it is fight night, Hall versus Strickland. Run through the main card, see how many I can butcher. All right, welterweight division, Brian Barberena versus Jason Witt. Flyweight division, Ryan Beno versus Zaruka Ardishev. Welterweight division, Nicholas Stoles versus Jared Gooden. I think it's just Gooden. Woman strawweight. I have no idea how to say this lady's name. Chiane Baez versus Gloria Di Paula. Now that lady sounds like she's Spanish or something. Brazilian. Bantamweight. Kang Kung Ho versus Rani Ya. This is literally what it looks like. Yeah. And then the middleweight division, you got Uriah Hall against Sean Strickland. That is the main event. Doma, it's going to be a big one, but it's not going to be as big as the event following that on Sunday, the 8th of August, where the number one man, Derek Hot Balls Lewis is back in action. So look, looking past this weekend to next weekend, that is where I'm really excited, Doma. So USC roundup for another week.
Beautiful. Very nice.
This Sunday.
That's it. Joel, how you going? First day of lockdown freedom. Yep, it's good to be out. Wishing all our friends in New South Wales all the very best as well. They are in lockdown, and as it got mentioned today, it's extended for another 4 weeks. So minimum is end of August. That's if this changes.
Been there and done that, mate, for quite a little while. We know how it feels. It sucks, mate. It sucks. So
here's the advice, mate.
Stay safe.
Olympics are on. Have the Olympics on. Premier League starts up. Get on the Premier League. Don't worry, mate. Just try and occupy your time with some sport. Get on podcasts. You got time to put some podcasts on, mate. Here's a tip for anyone out there: put it on 2x speed. At the beginning, I taught this trick to Source. Yeah, at the beginning, it's going to be like, I cannot understand one word these people are saying. But your brain will adjust to it. Like the way that you understand it.
I don't go on that much. On Spotify, there's a 1.5 and there's also a 1.8. Yeah, that's too much for me. 1.5, I'm comfortable. 1.8 is, it's doable.
Bro, I'm on 2x. I listened to the bloody crossover today, the whole 2 hour and 5-minute podcast in literally an hour. It's elite. It's so good, mate. More podcasts. I just get through them. I churn them out. I love it. So there's some advice. And then obviously you got Netflix and all your types of streaming services, mate. You're not expected to do any work. We all know that. So that's why the government will look after you. Forget about it. Bloody lemons. So you just enjoy your time, make the most of it with your family, and just stay safe. All right, let's move on to the NBA. Saucy, draft week. We thought about talking about the Olympics. Boomers are good. They're looking good. They can do better. We can briefly touch on it. USA, keep complaining as much as you want. That's fine. Not going to change anything. I read something today that the NBA is going to be looking to change their foul calling rules. Source.
Oh, because of Trae Young.
Yeah, that's all right. James Harden.
But this is what I mean. Yeah, but now they're changing it. When James Harden's been doing this for 5 years, mate. He's been doing it for 5 years, and now they're going to change it because Trae Young started doing it, but Trae Young started doing it in a different manner. It was, it doesn't look natural what Trae Young does. Like it doesn't look like basketball, right? It just doesn't. And it's funny, there's a clip where Steve Nash has a go at him from the sidelines this year when he's playing against Brooklyn, and he's arguing with the ref saying that's not a basketball play. Like, since when is anyone do that playing basketball? Like, no one does that, right? And you can say the same about James Harden.
I was going to say, I'll make the same argument, mate.
He gets the calls.
Harden drives to the ring, and every time he cocks his head back, it's like he's got whiplash out of a car accident, mate. That's how hard he's getting hit. And it's not even like a feather's touching him. And he's whiplash. Oh, and one. And they just yell. Like, come on. Give me a spell. Grow up,
Look,
James.
It needed to be done. It needed to be done.
But they beat Iran, so they're back today, Team USA. They beat Iran by 55, so, they're going to win it all now. So
that's a C. That's a C minus for me.
Yeah, but the
A plus would have been 100. A would have been 80. B is 70 plus. That's an average performance.
It is an average performance. Boomers looking good for medal contention, which is going to be great. They're just going to keep pushing and plugging along. But the one that I do want to talk about, clearly, Luka the Don. He's just taking the piss, Sauce. He really is. Like, he's taking the piss. And I put something up in the story during the week, and I said, if Luka goes on to win gold, what does this do for him as a player? I'm telling you, the significance of him winning a gold medal in the grand scheme of basketball is going to be very, very impactful on his legacy.
Than winning an NBA championship, though. He did say that. He said that.
I'll be honest, like, Source, and people, you can hit me up in the DMs. This is my little hot take. You can put me on blast. I don't really give a shit, to be honest. But the talent crop currently playing internationally is a lot better than a decade, 2 decades ago. You go look at the NBA, look at who the MVPs have been, the people in talks for MVP. Like we had Embiid. He's not American. Like we had Jokic, we've had Giannis, we've had all these players. Then you go internationally and you look how good some of the talent is, like Luka. And Giannis is playing for Greece, and then you got Serbia's got Jokic, and I'm just putting it out there. Gobert plays for France. Like, I'm just putting it out
defensive player of the year. What? How many defensive times? Three-time defensive player of the year.
I'm just saying the quality of guys is unbelievable. All right, it's not like the LeBron and Kobe teams and the Dream Team where they're just beating up on guys. And the best player that they had to play, the best team they played was Croatia, and they had like Kukoc, which I understand he's a good player, but Kukoc ain't no Luka the Don.
Yeah,
just putting that out there too. So
I know Giannis.
I know Jokic. So it means a lot. I reckon it means a lot for his legacy. All right, it's a bit better than Barkley's gold medal.
I think even if he medals, man, even if he medals, that would be massive.
Yeah,
like you got to remember he had to play in qualifying just to get there.
He's the man. Outside of the Boomers winning everything source, if they're not winning it, I want Luka the Don. You have to be going for Luka the Don. You don't want Team USA winning.
Adam says Korkmaz for Turkey.
Yeah, Furkan Korkmaz. That's it, mate.
He's a role player. We're talking about genuine superstars that are now literally aren't American. Genuine like superstars.
Mate, Evan Fournier gave Team USA a bath in the bloody game against like France against Team USA. Mate, this soft, touchy bullshit. That's why we always laugh when people say, "Oh, this guy's coming out of Europe. Oh, this guy's coming out of Australia." Mate, those leagues are 10 times more tough than what the NBA is, mate. The NBA is this cotton wool bubble wrap league compared to Europe and the NBL. Like, grow up. Seriously, it is. Go watch some of the shit in the officiating, and you'll be like, "Oh, it's literally like finals." Playoff basketball in the NBA, but in the regular season, and it gets harder when it gets to their playoffs. So just imagine that intensity for a season.
People don't know because people, they don't watch it. They don't watch it, and they don't know. They just judge on something that they don't know.
We watch it.
If you don't know, don't give an opinion.
Exactly. We watch it. We can make the opinion. I've watched Euroball, mate. Like we've got BT Sport. They put Euro up there and.
We see it.
We watch
it. We see it.
I'm just saying. So don't judge a book by its cover, mate. Go watch it.
The old saying.
Yeah,
the old wise tale.
I'm not standing by just because the NBL's an Aussie league. It's true.
It ain't no cupcake league. Yeah, it ain't no cupcake league like the great man Corey Homicide Williams said.
Yeah, Corey Homicide, man. He's elite. And on that front too, massive deal signed.
Huge.
NBL with KO Sports and ESPN, every game to be televised on there. So massive going into next year.
All right,
more exposure.
All right. 1 second. Let me share my screen here. Right. Let me share my screen. I'm going to bring up the ESPN mock draft. We're just going to run through the little bit of mock draft. Look, we did a bit more in-depth analysis on the previous draft last year, but I'm not going to give too much this year because I found I can't really tell guys, obviously you got the top 3 where, most people are going to try and buy them. But other than that, you actually need to see them play, and you like, for instance, last year, like seeing Kenyon Martin play, like I wouldn't have gone and bought Kenyon Martin cards until I've actually seen him play and seen what he done that last stretch of the season. Now I'm like, all right, I'm going to try and pick up, a couple of Kenyon Martin cards. And same with Patrick Williams, watched him throughout the season, was like, this guy's got talent, like the way he plays. And, you got to have a bit of a basketball sense about it. And look, the one thing about Patrick Williams was he was guarding a lot of good players and he did really well against them. So that was, boded well for him and made me want to collect his cards. So obviously we've got the number one Detroit Pistons. They're going to pick up Cade Cunningham, no doubt about it. He is out and out the number one prospect without doubt. If they don't pick him, they've bottled it. Let's be honest, but they're going to take him. Number 2, Houston, Jalen Green. This is from ESPN, so there's plenty of mock drafts out there that might say different, but this is just what they're saying that they believe is going to be the guys. It's always good to go have a look here, so then maybe you can even go do your bit of research. And it's not about picking the guys out of the top 10. It's about finding the sleeper that's from 10 to 60
onwards. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
because there's always in every draft, there's always a sleeper. There's always a sleeper that always comes out to be a decent player. Look no further than Giannis. I can't remember the pick that Jokic was. If I'm not sure if he was in the top 10. But there's been plenty over the time. Cleveland Cavaliers, they got number 3 pick there, touted to take Evan Mobley from USC. Toronto Raptors, Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga. He's going to be a good player. I think
that's what they need too. They're in a rebuild. They're in a bit of a rebuild too.
Yeah,
Toronto.
They are in a rebuild. Right. He's a good player. Orlando Magic, Scotty Burns, small forward, power forward. Obviously, we know they've got RJ Hampton. He's a shooting guard. They got Cole Anthony. He's a point guard. So, looking for that small forward, power forward position, especially 20 years of age.
Especially with Jonathan Isaac. They don't know he's
health. Look, we don't know. ACL, that's a tough one to come back from, Doma. That's a tough one.
Twice.
Yeah. How good is he going to be on the comeback?
Yeah, they're just hoping he's going to be okay, but this is their contingency plan if it all fails, like at the ball club, because they got Mo Bamba there at center as well as the big fella.
And when he actually got minutes after they moved out Vucevic, he was good. He was good. So good young signs for Orlando. Oklahoma City, James Burknight from UConn, Golden State Warriors. They from Minnesota, Jonathan Kuminga, Orlando Magic from Chicago. So I'm guessing that means Chicago has the pick, but it goes to Orlando.
Yeah.
Moses Moody from Arkansas, Sacramento Kings, France Wagner from Michigan, Memphis Grizzlies, Josh Giddey, the Australian. They believe they are very, very high on Giddey, who played for the Adelaide 36ers last season in the NBL and absolutely put on a show. One to watch. He's only 19 years of age. He's not even 19 yet. And let's hope he does well. I'm not sure let's hope he does well in the NBA, and we'll see where he gets picked up. Memphis is massively high on him.
It'd be good for him to go play with Ja Morant and JJJ. Yeah. That would be very nice.
It will be. Look, I don't know. He will definitely be playing backup. But he might even be able to play the shooting guard position. So he's got a bit more height. So Charlotte Hornets at 11, they're touted to take Corey Kispert from Gonzaga. San Antonio Spurs have number 12, Alperen Sengun from Beşiktaş, which is a Turkish side in the EuroLeague. Indiana Pacers, Davion Mitchell from Baylor. Golden State Warriors, Chris Durante from Oregon. Washington Wizards, Trey Murphy from Virginia. I don't know how far down the list I'm going to probably just go to number 20 and then we'll move on, Doma.
20's the guy.
Oklahoma City Thunder from Boston, Keon Johnson from Tennessee, New Orleans Pelicans from Memphis, Cameron Thomas from LSU, Oklahoma City Thunder from Miami. So when I say from Miami, that means that Miami has the pick, but it goes to OKC. Jalen Johnson from Duke, small forward, power forward. New York Knicks, Usman Garuba from Real Madrid, another EuroLeague team. So a lot more teams looking outside the bubble. Obviously, massive Euro talents come out in the last, 5 years, 6 years. So looking there. And here's Doma, who Doma is talking about, Zaire Williams from Stanford, going to Atlanta Hawks, shooting guard, small forward.
I've spoken a lot about this guy, obviously high school too. There was a lot of spotlight around this kid when he was in high school. Now he's played pretty well. He averaged almost 11 points, almost 5 boards, and 2 assists on 37% field goal percentage at Stanford. I reckon he could be a bit of a steal if he goes to Atlanta at 20. That's just me, in my opinion. But as we know, we all thought Denny Avdija was going to dominate when he went pick forward to the Wizards last year. And he's, at the moment, if he had to end his career today, he's a bust. Like
at the moment, he looks no better than Dario Saric. Straight out, he looks like a Dario Saric type of player.
And Dario Saric, that's an insult to Dario Saric, because Dario Saric actually consistent player. He's just had a few injuries. Unfortunately, he's had his ACL go. So, but that's it, Sauce.
And look, I could keep going down the list, ladies and gents, but literally just type in NBA mock draft on Google. Find the ESPN one, find the CBC Sports, whatever. Go have a look through them. Do your research. Go have a look at their college stats and their shooting percentages. Maybe do a bit of Google search on them. Maybe might be able to find a YouTube video or two, some highlights. And go have a look. That's what it's all about. It's about doing your research, looking into these guys, seeing what you think is going to be a strength that's going to transition to the NBA, because there are guys out there that, they look brilliant in college and they come to the NBA and it's a different beast and they just can't handle it. And then there's guys out there that in college look no further than Patrick Williams, came off the bench, averaged 6 points in college, but comes to the NBA and looks like he's built for the NBA, right? So that's why I'm saying, doing your research and having a few guys on your radar now is important, because it's early on when the product drops and there's not too many games being played. You're going to be able to pick up some guys under the radar, and then have that opportunity to flip them later on down the track when people go, oh shit, he's good. For instance, Kobe White was one. I seen him early days. He dropped one game. He dropped 27 points. I think he hit 6 of 9 threes. And I was like, oh, let me have a look at this guy. Like, he looks like he's a shooter, right? When I picked up a few of his base cards, I was buying them off people on eBay, on Facebook, for $1 to $3 for a Prism base. He won Rookie of the Month 1 month towards the end of the season, in his rookie season, and people were buying those same base cards for $20. Doma, boy oh boy, did I get rid of them. I shipped them out, sold about 6 or 7 of them, said thank you very much. I literally turned $15 into like $150, and I was like, thank you. I'll take that every day of the week. And that came down to like being aware, doing your research, having a few guys on your radar, and being ready to pounce when the time was there. Yes, Cosmic, I am ready for a new draft class as well. It's always a fun time of the year when the draft class happens, and it's always fun to see the Knicks fans' reactions into who they are drafting. It's always one of the best parts of the draft.
It really is. Truly is. All right, Sauce, let's move on. We've flown through this. It is time for this week's Le Monde of the week, and came to your attention, so you will set the scene for us on this one.
Doma, Giannis and the Bucks won the championship.
Champ is here.
So many people, posting their Giannis cards, posting their Chris Middleton cards, posting their Drew Holiday cards, whatever it may be. Positivity. And going through stories and, plenty of congratulation, me included, as you should be happy for the Bucks organization, should be happy for Giannis and Chris Middleton because they're able to do it, build it the right way and get it done. Stayed stick through thick and thin, and were able to bring the chip home to Bucks Nation. But then I was flicking through and I came across one guy's story. And I seen it, and Dom, I had to screenshot it because I was like, this is possibly a candidate for Le Monde of the week. And so here we are, flicking through, and he shared a post, and it was of Giannis celebrating, fist pumping. The caption on the post from ESPN was, I could go to a super team and and just do my part and win a championship. But this is the hard way to do it, and we did it. Now, Doma, I'm going to bring up the screen share, and you're going to see what the other bit at the top says. Doma, read it for me.
Love the mentality, but he won basically on the fact that this season had the most injuries ever. That's
now, if anyone could see that, Mr. Mudman Sports Cards at Mudman Sports Cards. What you are saying here is complete lemonish. Right? I've coined that lemonish. This is why we're at this point. That's why we're at this point, and we're talking about it. So you're telling me that because injuries, it's an asterisk on his championship. So let's look back, Doma. Let's look back at some more asterisks, should we? Kawhi with Toronto, asterisks. Golden State Warriors when they beat the Cavs when Kyrie and Kevin Love were out, asterisks. What else, Doma? Have you got a few more for me?
Yeah, we can go to the 90s source. We can go to 94, 95, 90. Sorry, yeah. What? Yeah, 93, 94, 94, 95. Houston Rockets won the title. Probably doesn't count because Jordan was retired, so it doesn't count.
Asterisks. Jordan wasn't there, so
asterisks.
Asterisks.
It's just always an asterisk.
Always an asterisk, is there? Because there's injuries in every season. This is what makes the NBA. Because don't forget, he's a guy who hyperextended his knee. We thought he'd done his ACL, and he came out there and put on one of the greatest finals performances of all time. To call his championship, you're pretty much calling it an asterisk, right? They're saying because there's all the injuries, that's the only reason he won. That, sir, gives you the lemon of the week. Mudman Sports Cards. Seriously, brother, that is an absolutely horrendous take. You cannot say that. That is what makes the NBA the NBA. It is the survival of the fittest. Giannis and the Bucks stayed the fittest. They played the best. They won the championship. That is that.
It's pretty straightforward and simple.
Are you telling me that the Lakers championship last year was an asterisk? Gorgon Dragic out. Who else did you have out? You had another person injured too? There as well?
No, Dragic. That was
Dragic was. Oh yeah, he was massive in that in the playoffs. So there's another asterisk for you. It doesn't make sense, mate. It doesn't make sense. That's the NBA. Injuries are part of the game. You, sir, are a lemon. Unfortunately, you have gone into the running for the biggest and best award in the hobby. That is, I've just dropped cards everywhere. The BGS Lemon provided to us by Adam from Beats and Breaks. Mate, you might win this at the end of the year. And this is there's only one. This is a one of one. One of one. All right. Graded 0, gem munted.
Don't worry about it. We're getting a new Le Mans of the year card sorted by Adam. We'll talk, Adam. We'll get that stuff sorted, mate. Some custom stuff for this segment. All right, Sauce. I've got nothing to say on it, to be honest, in my opinion. It's a lemon act. Hopefully he takes it in his stride, in good spirits. And feel free anytime to come on and debate us in the live. It'd be very, very fun. All right, Sauce, let's move on to some hobby talk. Just quickly on the hobby talk. All right. I know we're in here. So we're about to jump in. But when really cool things happen in the hobby, albeit we are running live at the moment, my suggestion is hopefully you got two devices. You can open one on one side and you can listen to us on another side. But Cherry is currently live with Andrew Bogut. So very nice stuff there. They happen to get Andrew Bogut on there live on Instagram. So awesome get by the boys down there.
But
Very
stay
well
with us
done.
here at Double Coverage, mate.
Yeah.
This is where the value is, because this is the number one segment of the show, Hobby Talk.
Here we go.
Let's get into it, Dom.
Let's get into some blockchain. Huge week. All right. So we had literally on Monday, we had Sneaker Spotlight drop insert packs. We had the Blue Circle Prism packs drop today, and the Gold Prism packs will be dropping on Friday. So Thursday, 10 a.m. in the States. Just a bit of a rundown on it. The Sneaker Spotlight feature 2 base cards and 1 Sneaker Spotlight insert number to 500. You know what I can do now, Source, because I fixed this up.
Get it happening, brother.
Instead of being a Le Mans. There we go. Bang! Here's what some of the cards look like. There you go. The popular challenge inserts will continue as well for the week. Blah, 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 blah. Revamp marketplace, combine the auction and public gallery sections to form one big marketplace source. Enhanced search filter functionality, a new sales section on the marketplace, which will give users the ability to filter for specific cards and look up the sales history.
Oh, mate. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I've been calling for this for 6 months, Doma.
Yeah, but it's for these source. I don't think it's going to be for the... I hope it's previous stuff too. Clubbing cards to show similar products in auctions will give users the ability to see all listings that are currently active for the same card, as well as give them the ability to sort by serial number or price. There is also the ability to list packs in the auction. So it's pretty much becoming NBA Top Shot, but for NFT cards. That's what Panini's pretty much telling us. Here's a quick sneak peek at the cards that were dropping this week. So here's the Sneaker Spotlights. You can get Luka the Don. Here's the blue circles in here as well. Luka the Don in there. There's LaMelo. Here's the golds. Looking awesome as well. Zion, Ja.
Good to see good to see they've gone original and tried to change up the NFT compared to the actual cards. Really, really good by Panini. I'm just saying, Doma. They could do anything with this. This is digital, yeah. Like you could do some crazy shit, and they're just feeding us the same cards that it's the actual card. Like it's to me, it's
well, it
I don't. Look, guys, there is money to be made in this. Look, I will say that, yeah. There is money to be made in this. If you are savvy, if you understand the NFT, if you've had a bit of experience with Top Shot, the lowered minted numbers are the ones you want to be going after. Hey, Doma, don't go. Share your screen again and go to the blockchain store because there's some absolute ripper Dutch auctions on at the moment.
Is there? Why aren't they showing those in the thing anymore? They're not having that in the Knights Lands.
You got to go blockchain and then click blockchain store. What are you doing?
You can't access it from where I was.
Is that a different website you were on or something?
That's just their blog page. It hasn't got like the menu up the top.
I see.
There you go. Here's some featured packs, by the way. That's the prices of them. The Prism.
I was going to get one of those $99 packs, but I just can't justify it, man. Because for $99, I can go buy myself a Patrick Williams auto, who's someone who I actually want. An auto. I can go buy an auto for $99.
Is it under public auction?
No, blockchain store.
Blockchain.
Right.
There you go. Oh, my days.
Rippers. Some absolute rippers.
Wowza. There you go. Logo Man, Luka the Don. These are all digital plus physical cards. Who we got here? Travis Etienne Jr. Collegiate tag.
Look at that. Jewel.
Clemson. Jewel auto. Wiseman. Anthony Edwards. Laundry tag. Auto. Tua Tagovailoa. These are all 1-1. That's an auto, patch auto. That's a sick patch. Then we've got a patch auto of Donovan Mitchell. Patch auto for DK Metcalf. All these so far that have been autos are all stickers. We've got an on-card Shaquille O'Neal auto. Josh Allen. Shield Star auto. So patch auto there. Heston. Kerstad. He's a prospect. Jerry Judy, Shield, Auto, Derek Carr, Laundry Tag. Patch Star Auto. Jason
Vegas Lamont
Dominguez.
will be buying that one. That's his favorite player.
Yeah, he's all over that. Emmanuel Quickly, Logo Man Auto. Joey Bart. Kobe White, Logo Man Auto. Isaac Okoro, Patch Auto. And Denny Avdija, Logo Man Auto. So some nice cards in there, Sauce. Nice cards.
There is.
I'm
sure I seen someone during the week that said that you can find the price that he sold at on the Dutch auction. I'm sure. I've got to find out. I've got to find out.
I might look in the background when we move on.
In terms of what you spoke about before, that they're making updates to their platform. That's good, because that's something that obviously our mates at Luca Tigers Bronze, Cage, have been talking about, him and Goldberg. And that was one thing that Cage mentioned, was they did need to improve the platform before he started spending more money on there, which it was pretty average, Tom. I did have a look at it. You've got that much money, Panini. You got to do better. Like, you got to do better. So it's good to see that they are making improvements.
They sure are, Sauce. They sure are. All right. As we do every week now, because they've been so transparent. They like letting us into what's happening behind the scenes. Here's a HGA update for you. This is from Tyler Hitt, the CEO of HGA. Hey, everyone, we're getting close to our TCG location being open. We are now less than a month away from our projected opening of August 23rd. So TCG is coming to HGA. With that being said, they're making a few changes. They're moving sub days for sport from Tuesday to Monday. So subs will open, on a Monday at 5 p.m. We'll continue to open Mondays going forward with TCG looming. They're getting ready to have multiple submissions through the same portal and have them evenly spaced throughout the week. When they open TCG, they plan on having the TCG submissions starting on a Thursday. Custom labels are now definitely $20. They have dedicated the absolute best from our team going forward to make sure you're receiving a label that is heads and shoulders above the rest. We continue to look for even better ways to improve labels and customs as well. So that's just a quick update there. Pretty good. TCG is coming, Sauce, which is very, very exciting. Very nice. All right, let's move on. PSA films on cards?
Yeah, look,
It's an interesting topic.
It's an interesting topic, isn't it, Doma? Because there was word out there that, when the whole Genamint thing came out with PSA, they've got acquired Genamint and so on. And they were saying they're going to do an invisible fingerprint on a card so we can tell whether the card has been graded previously. Now, I thought that meant with the technology, the high resolution imaging, they would be able to tell literally each card from each card. But that is not the case. Their actual invisible fingerprinting is a very thin plastic film that they place over the card. That's their fingerprint. And I found this out because I was in the comments of someone and who grades a lot on with PSA, and he goes, I'm going to, he's had a picture of his card. And he said, it was a little video, and he said, I'm going to crack this and resub it. And someone asked the question, well, how can you resub it when they've got their fingerprinting on it? They'll know that you've subbed it already. And he goes, no, all it is just a plastic film over the card. You just take that off and then they don't know and you can send it in. So really, we're back to stage one, where I thought that A had made advancements, PSA. We're back to stage one. If you get a PSA 8, PSA 9, you don't like it, crack and resub. That's the moral of the story, because at some point, you'll get the grade you want. And I actually seen another post today that someone cracked 20 PSA 9 Zions and sent them back and got 20 PSA 10s.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting enough.
That was a post in the Sports Card Nonsense Facebook group from someone who'd seen it from someone else. And that story is true. It is 100% true. And it's
I
funny,
believe
you
it.
know, it seems to be the moral of the story. If you don't like the grade, crack it and resub it, because, you know, without software grading and AI grading, I mean, HGA, they say we will grade your card accurately 100% of the time. And I asked Tyler when we had them on the show that, so if I don't like my grade of 8.5 or 9, Tyler, and I crack it and resub it back to HGA, it should still get an 8.5 or 9, whatever that grade was. I won't get a 9.5 or I won't get a 10. It should get the same grade. And he goes, yep, he said yes. So that means, their technology actually means something, because if you're unable to crack that card and sub it back to them and you get the same grade, like you crack that and send it and get the same grade, that's what a grading company should do. Not
Are we confirmed though on the film though? Are we confirmed?
Yeah, that's what their invisible fingerprint is.
But I can't believe it sounds like I'm fucking sticking up for PSA here. You're gonna kill me. But
go on.
But it's like, is this probably like the pre-fingerprint before the actual fingerprint comes? Because they're still working towards implementing that AI tech. So I don't know. Source, I don't know why they put a film over it and that's their fingerprint. Does that like record the card that it's been filmed, that they know it's in their database now? Because if someone cracks it, like you're saying, and they pull the film off and it's gone, that's it. Like, it's not in the database that it's fingerprinted. Like, that's what you're saying. You can resub them. I get that.
Yeah.
But surely on their end, they've done the due diligence, which now I'm really pushing it by saying they're doing what I'm about to say, that they're putting the film on the card, but they're doing the due diligence and logging the fact that this card has come through their system. So down the track, in 3 months' time, when it gets cracked and resubmitted, they can just go, man, this came through 3 months ago. This is what it is. It's a 9. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I'm not even going to bother. It's a 9. Or do you think that the film is the extent of its source and they've done no recording on their side?
Well, this is the thing. We don't know because they don't tell us anything, right? But if the film's there and by leaving the film on and you sub it, well, clearly they're going to know it's been subbed because they're the only people that put the film on there. So if you take it off, then they're not going to know it's been subbed. Now, if it's not a numbered card, how did they know? Tell me, how did they know? And the only way that I could think would be a plausible explanation would be the high resolution images, the technology, and that can tell it, right? But we also don't know because they don't tell us anything. So this is me speculating on what they're actually doing. I'm not sure, but all I do know is that whether that is the extent of their fingerprint, which at this point does seem to be the case, you're still good to crack and resub. As long as you pull that film off, you should be fine.
Well, there you go. Just that leads into something very, very interesting that I don't know if he's still in the chat, but Matty Campbell did pose a question to us. He said that he heard this on Luca Tiger's Bronze, and I heard the same thing as him. The top graders at every grading company would probably be doing the short turnarounds rather than the 30 and 60-day turnarounds. So would you think there is some better chance of getting 10s if you send it to a 60-day rather than a 5-day, because the 60-day is an inexperienced grader, and you as on a 5-day, as you rather get a grader of 2 to 5 years experience rather than a 20-year experienced vet in grading cards? Now, Goldberg actually went on to say that was a play. Like, he was deliberately sending cards 30 to 60 days instead of express on a 5-day. And he was getting
and he did have one anecdotal story, and he said, take it for what you will.
What
it is one sample size. I think there's some plausible notion to that, Doma. I really do think there is. I feel like the inexperienced graders would be less harsh than the experienced ones. But there is also people out there that believe the more you pay, the better grade you get. But it's not always the case. And I have had people say, sending bigger cards on a faster turnaround because you pay more money, they give you a better grade. And I'm like, Yeah, I sort of like I get it. Can see how you feel that way, but also I'm like, I don't know. But
It's all
look,
risk and it's a
it is.
risk and reward. If you get the 10, that's the reward. Like you
Yeah.
might play the risk and you might not get no reward. You might think you're subbing a 10 and it comes back as an 8. Like you don't know. It's all comes down to human eye, really, at the end of the day. So, it's to their
Yeah,
discretion
look,
on.
until we get the notion that like or explanation, how they're doing it or how they're implementing software, AI, whatever they want to call it, to do these grades, then there will never be a time where there's a grade that's consistent on that card, like on a specific card, or that's why I think like technology and software and imaging and all that stuff, what HGA are doing is so important. And that's why them being a pioneer to come into this space to push the other grading companies to go down that route is good for the hobby, because having someone grade something by eye in the 21st century, and I always say this, Doma, where freaking rocket ships are landing themselves, although it blew up on landing, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that we're still grading by eye. It really doesn't, And that's why I like what HGA's done. And I love that they've come into this space because they've pushed the other grading companies to be better and, upgrade their technologies to allow for more consistent and more consistent grading and grading outcomes. So until they PSA, and we're going to just say PSA because look, BGS, who knows what the hell's going on with that company, but PSA, until they come out and say what their extent of their software technology, Genamint, how that sort of is factoring into their grading, whether that's like a pre-grade and then someone looks over that by eye and sort of gives it the okay on the grade, and that helps. It would probably help quicker see the lesser grades. It'll be like, oh, Genamint says, oh, this card looks really good. Then you get a grader to look over it. Whereas, off the bat could be like, oh, this is definitely an 8 or lower. So then, the grader can have a look at it quickly. Yeah, it is. It's whack a 8 on it. Put another card down there. Or Genamint says, this looks really good. Grader looks over it, double checks it, does a bit of due diligence. Maybe if it's a very, very expensive card, spends an extra couple of minutes on it, gives it the okay. We don't really know where in the process that Genamint is being used, how it's being used. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Anyone out there, if you have, on any podcast, heard old Nat Turner say anything about it, heard PSA say anything about it. Not sure if they've gotten to that point that they're using it fully. So I still think they're doing it by eye. Let us know. Let us know. But until that point it will still be so many inconsistencies in grading. And I really want someone to send, 20 cards to HGA, crack every single one and send them all back. And if they get the exact same grade, I mean, that would be amazing. That would be unbelievable. Now, if they come back and they're 0.5 off some of them and things like that, I don't know how alarming that would be, but it would just be an interesting test. And if someone's got a bit of cash to blow, please do it, because I'd love to see it and make a YouTube video out of it, because I'll tell you what, it'd get you a lot of views. Fuck yeah, it would get you a lot of views. So it's not a bad idea if you want some clout. They even do it with 10 cards.
Sources there, he's clouding all over the place, giving people ideas.
He's gone rogue.
He's gone rogue. He really has. I'm going to put this out there. If you're not following them, all right, on Instagram, I'm going to tag them. And they're slowly becoming one of my favorite info/meme pages. Next to, obviously, one of our favorite, the Meme James, clearly. But the sports card era has been putting out some absolute fire content. I'm not going to lie. Absolute fire content. Been loving what they're doing. And it was a graphic that they put up that wasn't a meme. And they've titled it "Cards Are Dead." As everyone keeps saying, it's dropped off, it's dead. It's starting to pick up now, clearly, because the National. So, but funnily enough, in the last 2 weeks, we've had the Jordan rookie sell for an all-time high of 840K USD. We've had this week the Blastoise Wizards of the Coast test card. So it's Blastoise on the front, Magic the Gathering on the back, in a CGC 6.5 slab, going for 216,000 USD. And then just yesterday, we had a Khabib Nurmagomedov 101 Prism Auto selling for 47,000 USD. So massive inroads being made in like their UFC department. The Pokemon one, it's an error card, the test card. So, but the sales are there. And that's not to mention all the private sales that we know jack shit about that are selling for big dollars. That's other cards on auction houses. It's just ridiculous on Heritage and PWCC and Golden. So the health of the hobby really is, I reckon, it's there. It's still there. We're going to see it this week more than ever. We've got the National. It started today. Well, today here in a couple hours, it'll be starting, I'm pretty sure, over in the States. Massive. It's going to be huge. You're going to see so much content. You are going to get so bombarded if you're not there that you're going to be like, where do I start? There's going to be lives on consistently. There's going to be content put out on YouTube, content on social media across the board. It is just going to be insane. Absolutely insane. So one last shout out to the sports card era and one of the posts that they did. One of my favorite, if I might add. It was very early on. Here it is. I'm going to share it up on the page, on the stream. He tagged us in this with a whole bunch of other people as well. But he goes, if you're still posting about cards in 2021, congratulations, you have survived the purge. The easy money people have moved on to their next failed venture. Others discovered cards weren't for them. That's okay. For the rest of us, the hobby is forever. He's tagged Ken Golden in there, which is fine. But I love that. It's like we had this mini purge. Everyone said, sell out of cards, the shit, blah, 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 whatever. That's it. Because, like we said, all those people that came in for the quick flip, times got tough. It became harder to flip cards. People want here and now. They don't want tomorrow. They don't want a week's time. They don't want a month's time. They want here and now. They couldn't get here and now.
Send all your base prisms and pretty much print money with PSA and their $8.50 grading fee, $9 grading fee.
That's it.
Comes back as long as it's a 9 and above. You're printing money. You can't do that anymore. You don't got cloggers sending all the vets from Mosaic, from Optic, from all the variants from every freaking set, all the star vets, and clogging up PSA for $9 a pop, $10 a pop, and then getting them back and flogging them off. It's hard. You can't do that anymore because you can't send anything where you're going to send it to the SGC and get it back and not make any money, even if you bloody get a 10. And so time got tough, and the tough stuck it out. And the ones that was like, shit, this is too difficult, they moved on to the next venture.
That's with everyone. That's with everyone. Content creators, investors, everyone. That's everyone. I'm putting a generalization on the hobby with that. And if you've seen the inactivity in the 2-3 months that there's been dips in prices, and you've seen those people are nowhere to be seen, like, that literally says everything. Because once the National's done, and then if there's a massive run-up on cards again, you will see those people come out of the woodworks. Or you'll see them come out of the woodworks this week because they've either gone to the National or they're making content because the National's on to be like, oh, I'm back relevant and I'm back in it and I'm back doing this and I'm back doing that. So we wish everyone all the best, and I definitely wish the sports card era all the best as well. It is a growing account. Definitely go follow them. He's doing his best. They've flown up in followers since I started following them, I think a couple of days ago. at around 48 followers. They're up to 71. He's doing a great job. So consistent content is the key. And it is card content, memes, and market news. So check them out. They are doing a sick job. All right, Sauce. Another one. Matty Campbell, I'm telling you, he was on fire tonight, and he sent us a fair few things in our group. And I'm going to partner this up with our good friend Shano. So Shane Panther, at Moneyball, Card School podcast as well, Talking Cardboard podcast he also does. So Matty says, should companies, we've mentioned this before, but I think we will touch on it again. He goes, should companies promote their long-term experience graders, so do some profiles on them, and promote cards that these people have graded, like the Luka $4.6 million card, and say we have the best, most experienced graders, so come grade with us. Give some examples, he says. I'll tell you one thing, Golden would have been cut that they didn't have their hands on the Jordan that sold 2 weeks ago for $840K. You know what I mean? They would have been cut on that. Auction houses would have been cut that the Luka was a private sale. You know, they would have loved to have that. But when it comes to the grading companies, PSA has done what they've had to do now. So they're done. Like, they don't have to market themselves anymore. They're established. They're market leader. But for other people, well, other people being, i.e. Beckett, you know, with these big sales, I would be riding the tidal wave for as long as possible, mate. Have a look at this card. It's a BGS this. Look how much it sold for. This is the highest in the market for this type of card. But I would be riding it like crazy. I'll be riding it like crazy. Mate, you know what I'd be doing, Sauce? I'd be pulling all my strings with Panini, whatever. I'd be pulling all my strings. I'd be flying out, mate. I'd fly out the person that bought that card and literally try and get them a meet and greet with the superstar on that card. That's what I'd be doing. Just doing some crazy shit, some crazy marketing, just so people are blown away like, oh, what the hell? Like we saw Tom Brady today. He posted that someone sent him that dual auto Brady Montana card.
Yeah, that was sick.
That's a sick card. Just imagine the person had that and it was graded. But just imagine he had that and he bought that and they hit up Tom and go, hey, listen, so-and-so's got this card and we know that you like your idol was Joe Montana. We want you to meet it. Like you're Beckett or you're a grading company. As if you're not going to pay Tom Brady. Mate, whatever you paid Tom Brady in royalties for just doing the meet and greet, not for anything, you've made that person's freaking life that's bought the card, for example. You know, that person's got to meet an idol of theirs. You've paid Tom Brady. Who gives a shit you paid Tom Brady? What you're going to make is going to be tenfold on that, mate. If you really put money into your marketing, what happens post that would be unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Who cares what you spend? Mate, Tom Brady would be like, he'd probably turn around and say, yeah, I'm free, freaking off season. You know, we've got the new Tom at the moment. He would have been like, yeah, all right, just fly him out. I'll meet him, meet and greet, whatever. Let's get some photos. Thanks for coming.
Back to the original statement, which
was
about
the
grading. But it was talking about
that's the grader? It's the grader grading that card and then how they would promote that as we got the best graders. You can't put graders in the spotlight. Like
you can't because
they make one error, that's it.
Yeah,
the business is cooked.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
No, they make one error, but also, you know, unfortunately, we live in this world of social media. Maybe that person has an account. They might get threatened, whatever it might be. So, look, you just can't do that, unfortunately. But what you can do is what you are saying is play on the fact that those sales in that slab, in BGS's case, are massive. And then, you know, do some marketing around that. Like, just be more savvy. But, you know, it's BGS, so they ain't going to do shit, let's be honest. Even though we're giving them some ideas. We think they're valid. We think they're good. I don't know what they're doing down there because they don't really tell us anything. So yeah, look, I don't expect much from a company like BGS. I think I think a company like HGA would do something like that. I think they're probably more.
HGA started to do that source, yeah, like with their partnership with LTB, like the boys like Cage and Goldberg have been interviewing past players. They interviewed
Brilliant.
the cast of The Sandlot, the film.
Yeah.
They've opened that up to their consumers, to be like, we're able to get these people for LTB, and they're literally combining their consumers with the consumer of the LTB podcast and combining it. So those people that may not have known Cage or Goldberg, in watching this, going, oh, these guys are conducting it, really well-run podcast. It's like, oh, do these guys have card-related content? And, it hops back and forth. That's how partnership works. So they've got access and they're doing stuff like that. I'm not saying PSA doesn't get people out, and, they probably will. It's the National is a good time to have all this stuff planned and have it ready to go. Like, I should go onto Beckett's Insta. Surely they've got some shit running besides on-site grading. Like, Beckett grading.
Yeah, look, we don't know. We don't expect much from them, do we, Doma? Let's be honest. They
Yeah. At least who they got here? They got someone here. Steve Grad. I'm not sure who that is, so I'm not going to make a comment. But Steve Grad, they've got at the National. So not really a whole bunch of stuff happening, really, to be honest. But anyway, I'd just market the card. I'll really push that hard. Like, that's my thoughts on it. Last one we had from, last two actually that we had from some of our fans and some of our friends is from Shano. As I said, this is a good one for you, Source. I know I mentioned this to you pre-show and you were all over it. Vet patch auto over a player's RPA. Why do we pay insane values for player worn when we can wait another year and get game worn?
Yeah, I like it. I don't get it. Mate. And in this case, in terms of 2021 and probably 21-22, it's literally just a cut up jersey and put in there. It's not even worn, touched by the player. It's just a piece of fabric in there. Whereas, the next release, 21-22, will be, if you want a James Wiseman, if you want a Patrick Williams, if you want a Edwards, LaMelo, we don't even know what's going on. It'll be game worn because they would have had jerseys from their first season that would have been given to Panini to make cards. So I'm with Shano on this one. I don't get it. I also don't get paying the absurd prices for, what was the card I seen today? It was look, I get it was a 1-of-1. It was a 1-of-1 Jordan Poole, card, went for like $1,000 USD. I get it. It was a rookie, 1-of-1, $1,000 USD. But sorry, in 15 years from now, Jordan Poole will be nothing more than a good role player. He's not going to be a superstar. He's not going to be a top 10 player, top 20 player. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, you can go buy, it's $1,000. That's $1,000 US. Think about what you can buy with $1,000 US. I'd rather you could go buy like a couple of Kyrie's on-card autos. You could go buy players who are more established. Let's say
you can go buy 40 Shaq PSA 8 rookies, tops rookies.
Yeah, if you like Shaq, you could go buy a Shaq auto, maybe 2. So, look, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what people are thinking. But I really do hope that people start wisening up over these sorts of things. if you know what I mean, Doma. Like, there's no point going and speculating and buying the RPA or an on-card auto, rookie audio of like number 50 in the draft who's in the G League, and it costs X amount of dollars. It's a number to 10. It costs, $300 when you could go spend that $300 on. I mean, I freaking bought a SGC 9.5 Kobe rookie card for $200. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, man. Like, I think your money is better spent somewhere else. There's a lot of speculating on these guys. A lot of speculating. Yes, Cosmic, we do know that they are on, so we will be rounding up the show soon. Australia versus Italy, he did say in the comments, is on now. So if you haven't got it on, jump onto your 7 Plus app if you're here in Australia and chuck it on, because that should be a good game.
I've got it on.
Italy's all right.
I've got it on here. We might get to your last question next week, Maddie, regarding Randolph's new grading company for Pokemon, the YouTuber. We'll discuss a bit of that next week. But we do have some do's and don'ts on eBay for some new people coming into the hobby. If you're interested in stuff that Source and I look at when we do go there and we do purchase from them, we'll try and go and give as much info. Source, if you want to start, you're the predominant one on eBay, always buying. Your thoughts and do's and don'ts.
Yeah, look, Dom, I'm trying to get the game up here so I can watch it at the same time. Yeah, look, some do's, some don'ts is, I don't know. Don't be a flog. Don't be a flog when you're trying to buy something off someone and they don't want to. Look, I've had good experiences and I've had bad experiences on eBay. But eBay in general, unfortunately, if you want to move a card, that's where, and you want to move it, in a reasonable amount of time, that's the place where you need to go on. Even though we hate their fees, but look. I'll start with do's. Do's would be definitely use the saved search feature. Saves you a lot of time, especially if you're looking for certain cards. Make sure you're saving certain searches. If you've got a few searches that you like, one of my favorite is PSA basketball. Another one is SGC basketball. Another one is CSG basketball, HGA basketball. I just put all them in there, go bang, 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 find all the basketball cards from those grading companies, and then, figure out where I go from there. Another do would be, if you are bidding on an auction, make sure you check the bidding history, right? Make sure. It might not matter on some lower end cards, but also you don't know. You don't know. I say that, and I've seen some dubious stuff on every level of card. So if you are going to bid, make sure you check the bidding history. Look and see that it looks natural. It doesn't look like it's being pumped up, it's being shielded, as people like to say in the hobby. That's important, because if it is being shielded and you can see that, it's maybe one to stay away from, because you end up paying overs more than you should. So there's definitely some do's. And also another one is try to depict everything. That's, if there's any issues with the card, make sure you say it, because if you don't, unfortunately, 99% of people are gone. Well, not unfortunately, because it is you as a seller. You should be disclosing that. I will say that. But 99% of people are going to refund it. Now, I've had an experience, Doma, I know I told you about, was I had a slabbed Charizard card that was graded as CGC. And CGC 9.5, and it had a slight little crack right on the bottom of the slab. I had no idea it was there. These came direct from CGC to me. I took photos of them all when I got it. You can barely see it. Like, you gotta hold it up in the light. You gotta like look at it like that. You're like, is it there? Isn't it there? It's there, right? I didn't disclose that, right? I didn't even know it was there, right? I'll be honest with you. And the seller asked for a refund. That's fine, whatever. I'm like, it is what it is. Gave him a refund. Went ahead and gave him a refund. Ended up nearly losing the card as well because he contacted eBay and eBay said, "Oh yeah, the seller's giving you a refund." And he asked them, "Oh, what do I do with the card?" And they said, "Well, you can keep the card. It's all good." The seller said it's fine. I did not say it's fine. I had actually paid for a return shipping label, so I disputed that with eBay. Anyway, it came back. I got the card back, which was good for me because or else I would have been out of pocket. But definitely disclosing information about the card, even if it is slabbed, even if you can see visible damage on the card under the slab, although it's got a number on the top and that tells people the quality of the card. Sometimes if there's a visible ding corner, something that's, obvious, disclose it because it's going to save you hassles later on. Because at the end of the day, if there's a dispute with eBay, you'd be like, well, you know what? He's complaining about it, but I've told him about it. I put a picture there, a close up. What do you want me to do? Like, it's not my fault. It's his fault for not, reading the description of the thing. And you might have more case with eBay. Some don'ts. Doma, look.
Don't put PSA. This is a PSA 9 Matisse Leibel RC Prism card, ? PSA 10. Yeah. Don't put that shit. Don't put that crap. What it's slabbed as is what it's slabbed as. If the person buys it and they want to crack it and re-slab it and they think it's a 10, they can make that up for themselves. Don't do stuff like that. Don't trust accounts that have zero feedback. That could be a big problem. Don't put your final bid in on cards with a minute left. You're not going to win the auction.
Yeah.
The do for that is sniping it. Try within the last 5 seconds, get your bid in and put an irregular number.
Last 3 seconds, Doma.
Saucy taught
last
me.
3 seconds, and always, if you're thinking to bid 85, bid 93. If you're thinking to bid, 150, bid 163. Right? Always bid a little bit over than you're more willing to pay. If your number's 150, never bid 150 because everyone thinks 150. Bid 164.50, 165 or 166. You always need to add if the last comp on that card is 150 and you really want that card, maybe you should be looking to put a number like 172 if you really want to win the card. And this is was something that I actually struggled. I was like, the card's 150. I don't want to pay more than 160, $10 over the last comp. But in reality, too many people think like that. And then there's one savvy person that goes, well, I just want the card. I don't really care if I pay $20 over comp. I'm confident in the card. I'm going to add an extra $22 over the last comp. And that guy always wins it. And I was like, I want to be that guy. And I noticed what they were doing. And I noticed that, hey, they were just like bidding $20, $25 over comp, but always, ending on like an odd number, auctions ending at 173.90. I'm like, what a random number to end at. And I'm like, hang on, maybe I should bid like that. And I think that's very much how the sniper works because you put like your max bid at $200 on that card and it will keep bidding up to that. But it doesn't just, it bids that random number that you put. So, savvy auctioneering or whatever you want to call it, or bidding, would be to, bid an odd number. I always say bid an odd number. Never bid an even number. Never bid a 5. Never bid a 0. Never, right? Always bid an odd number. Whether it is, that's my thing. Always bid an odd number, or not an odd number, but an odd number in the sense of, like, not 185 or 190 or 200, 205, 210. Like, if your number's 210, bid, as I said, 217. Like, something like that.
I put like 217, 33 cents, bro. I'll just put stupid
that's
shit
what
like
I mean.
that.
Shit like that. And you never know. You might win it on that 33 cents.
Yeah.
It's happened to me before, Doma. And I've won so many auctions on, like, adding cents on there.
Legit.
Like, you wouldn't think of it. Like,
so that's a tip. Another do definitely is, because a lot of the cards you probably will be buying will be overseas, states most likely. Set up a Ship My Cards account. That's a do to mitigate any costs. You don't want to be paying $40, $30 per card to ship it back when you can completely mitigate the cost completely. So you would drop the price in half. By the time you get it to ship your cards and ship it back to you, it'll be half the price. So that's definitely a do. Obviously, building relationships with these people, whether it's on your social media, a lot of them have an eBay store. So build the relationships with them. You'll be able to go and do wheel and deal with them on best offer. The best offer feature is great.
Always offer. If they got an offer feature, always offer. Always offer.
As we say, do your research. Yeah, don't best offer it, and what their first counter is, you go, oh shit, yeah, that's $10 cheaper than what the card's listed for. You know, people selling way over comps, yeah, to make you go, oh yeah, he's selling it for X amount cheaper. That's a good deal. Like, don't think like that, because more often than not, that price that he just gave you is probably still $15 over comps. You know what I mean? And he's trying to rort the person. He wants to set the new comp at this high. So just do your research. We say that all the time, but that's the main thing. There are a few things. If we do think of more, we will definitely bring them up on future podcasts. If anyone's got any comments about it, chuck it in the comment section, and we can elaborate as well. Otherwise, Sauce, we'll move on to the few final things before Saucy Smoky. All right, so just quickly, National, we wish everyone all the very best. We appreciate the love that we've received from different accounts. Really, they wanted us to be there at the National this year. Unfortunately, we can't. We really appreciate that. Also, Tyson Beck dropped his Paddy Mills, Josh Green release on his website during the week. Head on over. You can still get some base cards. They're limited. So, very good purchase. I just bought a Paddy Mills last night. Hobby Hangout coming up September 12th. All going well. Very positive signs. We're looking forward to that event. They also announced their event in Brisbane. So, even though smaller contingency over in Brisbane, very, very passionate people in the hobby. So, they're your guys like Rip and Collect, you know, so they're doing some great stuff, and they've got their Coach Carter podcast as well, which is doing very well. So we look forward and we wish them all the best in Brisbane. And that's pretty much it, Sauce. Obviously, as we said, we interviewed Cage on the weekend. It was an awesome podcast. Go back, have a listen, have a laugh, because there was definitely some shit that we said in that podcast that was just well and truly off the script. As you know, we like to digress a lot in this podcast and go in different avenues. So, Saucy, without further ado, a Saucy Smoky, if anything.
Yeah, look. Yeah, no, I've got one. And if you did listen to the podcast with Cage, I mentioned it. It was a guy I talked about. It's an NFL play, and I've talked about this guy before, and I think is set for a big season. His team have made some moves. He sort of souped it up a bit, and rightfully so, because he's GM, the coaching staff, they didn't have his best interests at heart. This guy is a top 5 QB in the league. He's already got a chip. He's already got an MVP. So, you know, it's not like you're buying a prospect. You're buying an established guy. And this guy is. I'll bring up the chart. Obviously, courtesy of Card Ladder, and we did give out a free 1-year subscription with our 1,000 follower giveaway. Here he is, Russell Wilson. I spoke about him. Now this is the tops card. Now there's a few different cards you can go for. This is just the tops paper card. This is in the last 6 months. Previous high at 550, now down as low as 282. You can also, you know, as I say, you buy what you can afford. You can get a PSA 9 in this. It only got a pop of 1,600. PSA 9 last sold for 76, right? So not too bad. The BGS 9.5, if you can find one. There's not that many on the market. Only 277. Last sold under 150, right? There was a few there that sold not that long ago, actually. What, just 2 weeks ago, 120, 130. All right. So not too bad. Then this is the other card. So there's a few different cards you can go get. Now, this is the Topps Chrome. Obviously, the Topps Chrome is more sought after. There's only 1,048 in the pop. This is the stands in the background. This is the card you want, right? This is the imaging you want. You want the Topps. There's a few. Oh, look, I bought. There's another one I bought. I don't think they have it here on Card Ladder. I should have bought it. It's downstairs in my room, but I couldn't. I should have bought it up so I could show everyone. But I bought a different one. I can't remember the set name. I just liked it because it was like a refractor version. So it was nice. But once again, do your research. Get on there. I'm showing you the data of the last 6 months. Card Data gives you the last 3 months, so I can show you what the 3-month graph looks at. It still looks good for you, even if you're able to get that free data. Look, down 36% in 3 months, but if you extend that out to 6 months, it's only down 23% because it did rise up and then came back down. If you go 1 year, the card is still down over the year. Now, look, this is the previous highs there when it led up into that football season. Look at that, Doma. 1,500, around $1,500 mark. You're getting that card today for $500.
Wow.
Right? So that's the PSA 10. We'll have a look at the PSA 9. PSA 9s were up around $300 mark, $300, $350. Now today, PSA 9, $162. Maybe you get a steal for $150. Not too bad. There's only 1,000, less than 1,500. Now, look, I've compared that to, you can compare that to Burrow. You compare that to Herbert. You can compare that to Tua. By the time those Prism base cards go through, their base cards go through and get spit out by PSA, the pop on them could be well up over 10,000. Literally, Doma. This, even a PSA 9 only has under 1,500, and a PSA 10 has just over 1,000. So not only is it a card of a guy who's established, got an MVP, got a championship, but it's also low pop, which is what you want. And it's a play if you want to make a play for the season and sell it on the lead up to the season, the hype and flip it, make some money. That's my play with some Lamar Jackson cards that I bought. This could be a play if you're no interest in collecting Russell Wilson. Me, on the other hand, I think Russell Wilson, I don't think he ends his career at Seattle. I think he moves on from Seattle at some point. I think I call him the LeBron James of the NFL. He just doesn't miss games. He spends over $1 million a year on his health. He's just always fit. Touch wood. Hopefully that's the same this year. And he just turns up for his team. And I think at one point there's going to be a team that are in that championship window that are just going to go, you know what? He's a good QB. Is the last, piece of the puzzle. Yeah, he was the favorite to win the MVP, as Matty said here in the comments halfway through the season last year. He started on fire, Matty, and that's what I mean. There's a good possibility the same thing happens, and you go, hey, I picked this up for $500. It gets up to $1,200, $1,500. Out the door you go. You leave it. What you do, you leave it in your Ship My Cards, right? You leave it in your Ship My Cards. You get the images originally from eBay where you bought it from. You screenshot it, crop out the thing so it looks like a new image you've taken, and you list that back up on eBay from Ship My Cards, and you get Ship My Cards to send it directly out them. Or you send it to Star Stock, get it on the Fast Pass, leave it in your Star Stock, right? Bang, starts off beautifully. Boom, it's gone. No returns, no nothing. That's why you love Star Stock. So if you're looking for that quick flip, it's a great, great play in my opinion. So I think this is something to look at. Now is the time. Look at that graph. It went down, had a bit of a spike. I spoke about how people were being smarter, they're buying, but then I think people realized, shit, it is really, really far out. Not worried about it. NBA playoffs came, people sort of forgot about it a bit because it went back up again, Doma, to 1,000 mark. Then now it's gone back down to that 500 mark. So this is the time to buy this card. If you can't afford this one, as I said, definitely buying the Topps paper. The paper version was a bit cheaper, but that still had the opportunity to rise up around the $500 mark. But the Chrome is obviously more sought after. And then other than that, there is, if you really got the dollars, you can go get the gold version. But 2012 gold. Is that numbered? I thought it was numbered. Maybe it's not. Anyway, that's the play, Doma. Russell Wilson.
Okay. Very nice. Saucy smoky. Done and dusted. All right, Sauce. We're finished. We'll go and watch the Boomers taking on Italia. And Nico Magnion's actually playing very, very well at the moment. The Golden State Warriors guard. So we'll wrap it up. On behalf of myself and the great man Sauce, keep living, loving, and breathing sport. It's double coverage. Peace.
Peace. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.